Hey, what's up? This is Diesel, and one of my biggest videos I feel I'm about to ever make. I don't know how much views guess, but this is just a big video for me personally. And this is rebooking Brock Lesnar if he never left. WrestleMania 20 to WrestleMania 21. Gosh, doing this rebooking thing just makes me wish he never left more. Like when he left, SmackDown was hurt after this. WWE was hurt after this, and they never recovered. Especially SmackDown. Well, SmackDown kind of did recover, like 2002, 2003. SmackDown was just a better show. 2004, Raw took it. 2005, either way. 2006, I'll go and give it to Raw because of Edge and stuff. 2007, kind of shitty for both. 2008, Raw. 2009, SmackDown by far. 2010, Edge to SmackDown. But yeah. Well, yeah. Let's go back in time and rebook this because shit, I wish Lesnar never left. Even when it comes to like the video games, SmackDown vs. Raw, the first one in SmackDown vs. Raw, 2006, SmackDown vs. Raw, 2007, I would have loved for Brock Lesnar to be in those games and just face the likes of all those people in it. Deadman, Undertaker, Bobby Lashley, Batista in his prime, Really wish Brock Lesnar never left and at least stayed till about 2007-8. Anywho, start off WrestleMania 20. We're going to do this all over again. This time, because Brock Lesnar's not leaving, they go with the original plan and have Brock Lesnar go over Goldberg. I'd say it'd be a nice 4.5-star match if it was given enough time. And then he F5 Stone Cold. SmackDown post WrestleMania, he comes on talked about how he stopped Goldberg like no one else did. Triple H couldn't do it. Kane couldn't do it. None of the WCW guys couldn't do it. Rock couldn't do it, and he beat The Rock too. No one. With that being said, Eddie, get your ass on out of here. Eddie comes on and smiles. Lesnar tells Eddie he fluked Kurt Angle and he beat Goldberg. And he beat Kurt Angle at WrestleMania 19 while he was a heel. So, with that being said, you had to cheat to beat Kurt Angle. Just like when you beat me, Goldberg had to help you. So, with that being said, I demand my rematch for my rematch clause. Eddie accepts and tells Lesnar how this time he won't need Goldberg's help to beat him like he ever did in the first place. Next SmackDown, Brock Lesnar faces John Cena. Eddie comes out to watch the match. Lesnar keeps distracting myself by looking at Eddie. Eddie gets up, Lesnar walks towards him, and Cena gets the roll up, and Eddie starts laughing. 3.5-star match, just a regular SmackDown match. Next SmackDown, Eddie has a match and gets distracted by the Titantron and looks to see Ray's getting attacked by Brock Lesnar, and Ray runs to the back, and Eddie runs to the back, and by the time Eddie Guerrero gets there, Brock Lesnar's gone. So it's called. Next week, Lesnar cuts a promo about bragging about beating up Ray, laughs about it, beats the bully that he is. Eddie comes out from behind and attacks Lesnar with a steel chair. No, not with a steel chair. He comes out from behind and attacks Brock Lesnar. A brawl breaks out between the two. Next week, another big backstage brawl breaks out between the two. So big securities and wrestlers have to break it up. So then next week, Ray comes back, challenges Brock Lesnar to a match, and Brock Lesnar obviously accepts. End of the match, Lesnar hits the Brock lock on Ray. Ray taps out, doesn't let go, and Eddie comes out, hits Lesnar in the head with a steel chair and bleeds. Nice 4-star match. Then next week, Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio then attack Brock Lesnar, and Kurt Angle says if Rey Mysterio interferes in the match, he'll be suspended without pay. April 29th, SmackDown, Eddie versus Brock Lesnar. Eddie gets angry, beats the shit out of Brock Lesnar with a steel chair, so Lesnar wins via DQ, and Eddie still WWE champion. P.S. There's going to be a 1-2 weeks where I kind of skip because I'm going to go through majority of the weeks. Maybe not all of them, but majority of the weeks I'm going through. So next week, Brock calls out Kurt Angle and says that was bullshit how Eddie's still a champion. He knew he couldn't beat me. He had to get himself DQ'd and keep himself champion. Kurt Angle agrees with him and sets a rematch for Judgment Day 2004. And the rematch is on. And then says it's a no DQ, and Brock Lesnar smiles. 2 weeks later, they have the match of Judgment Day. Brock Lesnar wins clean and is a new WWE champion. Match is 4.5 stars. Next week, Eddie comes out and says Lesnar got the better of him, but he knows if he lays Lesnar again, he could beat him and demands his rematch for his rematch clause at the Great American Bash, and Brock Lesnar accepts. Now on to Great American Bash 2004. Brock Lesnar versus Eddie Guerrero in an Iron Man match. Now I'm going to explain to you the entire Iron Man match. Within the first 5 minutes, they fight. Eddie gets a steel chair, beats the shit out of Brock Lesnar's leg with a steel chair. 1 point goes towards Brock Lesnar. Then Eddie hits the lasso El Paso on Brock Lesnar, and with the hurt leg, by getting hit with a steel chair, Brock Lesnar taps out. 1-1. Now Lesnar gets Eddie counted out. 2-1 for Lesnar. Then hits the F5 when Eddie gets back in the ring. That's 3-1 for Brock Lesnar. So favor is in Brock Lesnar's hand. What's Eddie going to do now? Then Eddie gets his momentum back, tricks Brock Lesnar into the roll-up, because you know how Eddie Guerrero is, lies, cheats, and steals, and just likes to play mind games with people, but he's not the Undertaker, and wins the roll-up. 2-3, Brock Lesnar still ahead by 1 point. So Eddie, what's it called, referees down, slowly getting up. Eddie gets a chair, hits the ring post, the steel chair, throws the chair to Brock Lesnar. Lesnar catches it. The ref hears the chair shot sound, sees Brock Lesnar with the chair in his hand, and like Eddie, gets his opponent DQ'd. 3-3. Now they're even. Then Eddie hits the Amigos, hits the Frog Splash. 1-2-3. 4-3. Favor of Eddie now. So it looks like Eddie may get his WWE title back. Now, they fight back and forth, and Lesnar hits an F5 within another 10-20 minutes. 1, 2, Eddie kicks out. And then hits another F5, 1, 2, 3, 4-4. Now back to tie. Now, here's where it gets interesting. Eddie fights the hardest and most serious he ever fights because he wants 1 more or 2 more points so he can beat Brock Lesnar for the WWE title because time is soonly running out. And Eddie is bleeding like hell. And the ref goes down. And what's it called? Brock Lesnar gets the chair. Beats the shit out of Eddie Guerrero with that chair. Then throws the chair out the ring. Then puts Eddie in the bear hug. And time's running out. But he pulls arms up. 1, 2, 3. Eddie can't make it. Passes out. Brock Lesnar's 5-4. Match ends. Brock Lesnar is still your WWE champion. And I'd say this potentially would have been a nice 5-star classic. Then Lesnar's music cuts. Then a gong hits. And Undertaker's appear, then chokeslams Lesnar. SmackDown post Great American Bash on June 3rd. Lesnar comes out, calls out The Undertaker. Doesn't come. Then Lesnar says, yeah, don't come out, because you're scared. You're scared to come out and face me, face to face. You had to wait after I was in a long 1-hour match. And you know, you never beat me. That's why you're scared of me, man to man. Next week, Lesnar calls him out. Doesn't come out again. Next week, Lesnar faces Funaki, destroys the shit out of him, and keeps calling him, come on, Undertaker. Come on, Taker. Next week, Brock Lesnar faces Shannon Moore, completely destroys him, and says, Taker, the longer I wait, the more cruiserweights I'm going to destroy. Breaks Shannon Moore's leg with the F5 to the steel pole. Next week, Lesnar comes out. Before he even talks, the gong hits. Gong! Undertaker appears in the ring. Brock Lesnar is just quiet and staring the dead man in the face like he saw a ghost, and they're just standing there staring each other face to face. Next week, what's it called? Brock Lesnar and JBL face Rey Mysterio and Eddie Guerrero in a tag team match. Lesnar pins Mysterio. 3.5 stars, regular SmackDown match. The next week, Undertaker has a match with Nunzio. Taker completely squashes him. Then the FBI tries to jump him. Taker beats them all up. Then Lesnar comes to face him at the stage, and Taker stares at him back. Next week, July 22nd, the two meet face to face in the ring. Talk about how Brock Lesnar talks about how Undertaker could never beat him. He never beat him. And Taker admitted he's had his number even. And Lesnar laughs. Taker says, different time, different place. I'm the dead man and you are in my yard. Next week, the two meet face to face. Have a big all-out brawl. Kind of like what they had last year. Except, I'd say the feud around this time, 10 or 11 years previous to last year, this would have been a much better feud, I'd say. It was good last year, but had they did it back then when Undertaker came back to the Dead Man, I think it could have been much more awesome. So, and I love these two chemistry, whether they're feuding, whether they're wrestling, just great chemistry. So then next week, Undertaker starts playing mind games, Brock Lesnar. Brock Lesnar's walking around backstage, and stuff just randomly drops. And it's like, okay. Goes get ready for his match, Paul London. So as he's beating up Paul London, what's it called? The lights go out. Lesnar looks around. Sees nobody in there. And then Paul London rolls up Lesnar, gets 1, 2, 3. Lesnar's mad. Beats the shit out of London and trashes the ring. Next week, Lesnar attacks Taker from behind and F5s him, and the fans boo Lesnar hard. SummerSlam 2004. Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. Undertaker wins via DQ. Yeah. Taker's mad, because Lesnar hits him with the title. And then Taker just, gets up like the dead man. Angry, livid, he won via DQ, so he doesn't get the WWE title, and beats the shit out of Brock Lesnar. And chokeslams him off the stage. So somewhat kind of similar to what happened in real life with Undertaker versus JBL, where he wins in a DQ, but doesn't get the title and chokeslam JBL through his limo. So the next week, Undertaker and Kurt Angle face, for the number one contendership for the WWE title. And first, Brock Lesnar comes out, F5's Undertaker to screw him out the number one contendership match because he doesn't want to face Undertaker. Then JBL slowly climbs over, and then Eddie comes out and hits Kurt Angle in the head with a steel chair. and Taker gets the victory. A nice 3 3/4 star match. Taker's kind of rusty in 2004, and Kurt Angle, he's not badly rusty, but you know. So the following week, what's it called? Yeah, the following week, there's a backstage brawl. First, Lesnar jump. What's it called? Taker and Lesnar is a backstage brawl. No, Taker and Angle. Yeah, Undertaker and Kurt Angle have a backstage brawl. Brock Lesnar jumps in on Undertaker, and then Eddie jumps in on Angle. So Theodore Long, like vintage Theodore Long, makes a tag team match. Brock Lesnar and Kurt Angle versus Eddie Guerrero and Undertaker. So the following week, the match happens, and Taker wins via pinning Kurt Angle. No Mercy 2004, Undertaker versus Brock Lesnar last ride match. Brock Lesnar wins via help from JBL. Now, on to Survivor Series 2004. Yeah, I'm not going to do those weeks of all that build up. We're going to have SmackDown's first ever Elimination Chamber match for the WWE title. Because I'm thinking in 2004, we didn't have an Elimination Chamber match, did we? Brock Lesnar versus The Undertaker versus Eddie Guerrero versus JBL versus Kurt Angle versus Booker T. Match starts off with Undertaker and Brock Lesnar. They brawl like hell. And then Undertaker throws Brock Lesnar to the cage. Kurt Angle comes out. And him and Brock Lesnar beat up Undertaker. So first, Lesnar shoves Angle out of his way to get the rest of Undertaker. Then Angle shoves Lesnar like, what the hell, man? Don't freaking push me. And Lesnar pushes him again. And then Angle socks him. And then they go back and forth. And then Lesnar presses Angle over his shoulders and throws him to the cage. What's it called? Throws him onto the cage. And then Taker gets up and throws Brock Lesnar into the glass that Angle was standing in before he came in. Then Booker T comes in and fights what's it called, Kurt Angle. Then later on, Eddie comes in and eliminates Booker T via roll-up. Yeah, Booker T goes first. I'm just being as realistic as possible and just telling you most likely what would realistically happen. The way I rebook is not just by fantasy, but realism also. That's why Eddie Guerrero will not be champion that long, because realistically, he was going to drop back to Lesnar anyways, because Lesnar's a draw. Anywho, back to the match. Then Eddie and Angle fight. Eddie eliminates Angle via frog splash from the top of the steel cage glass thing. And then JBL comes in, takes down Undertaker. And what's it called? Sorry, I'm going to rephrase that. Then JBL comes in, because I wrote all this. JBL comes in. And it's down to Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, Eddie Guerrero, and JBL. Eddie Guerrero runs to Lesnar. Lesnar ducks, picks up Eddie over the ropes, and Eddie falls on his back on the steel, ground outside the ring. Yikes. JBL fights Eddie, then Brock Lesnar F5s Eddie and eliminates Eddie Guerrero. JBL and Lesnar beat up Undertaker. Lesnar holds up Undertaker. JBL goes from the clothesline from hell, and Undertaker ducks, and then he hits Brock Lesnar. So JBL accidentally hits Brock Lesnar. Undertaker big boots JBL. JBL's down. Taker last rides Lesnar, goes to the 1-2 kick out. Then hits Lesnar with the tombstone, and he eliminates Brock Lesnar. Then Brock Lesnar gets up. He's pissed off. F5's JBL. Then F5's The Undertaker. So now, because Undertaker got hit last, JBL crawls over 1, 2, kick out. And then JBL hits Undertaker with the clothesline from hell. And then says no. Power bombs Undertaker, 1, 2, 3. And JBL is your new WWE champion. Like I've said before, even if Lesnar were to stay, JBL was going to get that WWE title sometime because he was a hot heel. And by this time, he would have been fully groomed to be WWE champion. SmackDown post SummerSlam, Taker challenges JBL to a match. JBL decides to accept. They have a match. Taker sets up from the tombstone, and it's called Heyman comes out. Taker looks at him. Ref gets knocked down. Heidenreich interferes, beats out Undertaker, and JBL pins Undertaker and retains the WWE title. It wouldn't be all that great of a match. 2 stars, I guess. Lucky. I remember their match at SummerSlam was god awful shit. So 1 star, 2 stars, I don't know. Next week, Lesnar comes out, calls out JBL, tells JBL he's happy what he's told, but now it's time to pay up and give him the WWE title shot. And tells me, you did screw me up the WWE title. JBL says, no, you screwed yourself by not holding Undertaker properly. Lesnar says, well, I demand my rematch from my rematch clause. So Armageddon 2004, Brock Lesnar versus JBL. Undertaker 2004, JBL comes out, gets massive heel heat. And then when Brock Lesnar comes out, gets mega cheered. Brock Lesnar is officially a babyface here. Match is on, the brawl breaks out between the two, and then end of the match, the Cabinet comes out to attack Lesnar. Lesnar wins via DQ. JBL is still WWE champion. SmackDown post Armageddon, December 16th. Brock Lesnar comes out and challenges the entire Cabinet to come out and kick all their ass, including JBL. Teddy comes out and says, and has Brock Lesnar face the Bashams in a handicap match, and Brock Lesnar is really happy about having that match and smiles. Faces the Bashams and beats him, next week. Now the week after that. Hold on. Week after that. Faces Orlando Jordan, beats him in 5 minutes. Then JBL says, you think you earned your shot with me? You can face me? When you beat all 3 of them, Brock Lesnar gladly accepts. The following SmackDown. What's it called? Hold on. Yeah, that same SmackDown on December 30th has a 3-on-1 handicap match with the Cabinet. Brock Lesnar wins and JBL comes out, attacks Brock Lesnar and says, good luck. And Lesnar is bleeding like hell. Following SmackDown on June 6th, 2005, the first SmackDown in 2005, JBL versus Brock Lesnar for the WWE title. The ref gets knocked down. JBL hits Lesnar with a chair, does nothing to him. Orlando Jordan distracts Brock Lesnar. And then one of the Bashams put chloroform on a rag, puts it on Brock Lesnar's face, put Brock Lesnar to sleep, and JBL gets pinned and still is the WWE champion. 3 stars and 3/4. Next week, Lesnar complains to Teddy and says, him and Eddie Guerrero have a number 1 contendership match with the WWE title next week. Following week, January 13th, match happens. Eddie versus Lesnar. JBL distracts Lesnar. Eddie gets to roll up and wins. Lesnar is angry. So the following week, Teddy grants Brock Lesnar a Royal Rumble spot. The week after that, Brock Lesnar has a regular 1-on-1 match with Kurt Angle. Brock Lesnar wins clean. F5. What's it called? Actually, no. He wins via the Brock Lock. No, fuck it. F5. F5, 1, 2, 3. Nice 4 1/4. decent match, good way to begin 2005. Or not begin, one of the first weeks 2005. So the Royal Rumble. Now I'm going to say that it'd be title match, the World title match, and the Royal Rumble match. You'll see why. First match, it'd be title match. JBL versus Eddie Guerrero, and JBL wins clean. Yes, he deserves to win clean against Eddie Guerrero. Especially, for how he'd been built up more proper this time. So now, on to the world title match. See, with Brock Lesnar not leaving, Orton would not have gotten the title in 2004, so that means Orton never leaves Evolution, and Orton does not even have a feud with Triple H to begin with, and he's in the Royal Rumble PS. So who does Triple H face in the Royal Rumble then? So it goes like this. Back to SummerSlam 2004. On Raw side of things, Triple H beats Chris Benoit for the world title match. And then Unforgiven, Shelton Benjamin beats Triple H clean for the world title, like he deserved, like many people wanted back then. So Royal Rumble 2004, Triple H gets back the world title and is the world champion again. So now that means whoever wins the Royal Rumble either faces potentially JBL or Triple H. And I say potentially JBL because you still have the No Way Out 2005. Anywho, so Royal Rumble match happens, and the last four participants: Randy Orton, John Cena, Batista, and Brock Lesnar. Boy, that would have been amazing. And then, the announcers acknowledged these for the class of 2002, and all four of them came up together in OVW. This is the future of the WWE. So then, they stand there looking at each other, kind of give that look of, damn, I remember we all started in OVW, now look where we're at. Let's do this. Cena and Orton go at it. Lesnar and Batista go at it. Cena eliminates Orton. Lesnar eliminates Batista. Now down to Brock Lesnar and John Cena. Brawl for a bit. John Cena gets done at the Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar wins his second Royal Rumble, and the fans go nuts. SmackDown post Royal Rumble. Brock Lesnar calls out JBL, beats the shit out of him, beats up the cabinet, tells JBL as they're all on the floor, there's nothing I'd love to do better than beat the shit out you for the WWE title and take my title back, but I'm not going to do that. And you know why? Because I'm going to go to Monday Night Raw. So consider yourself lucky, JBL. And Brock Lesnar leaves.